Hello everyone, this is POW Ponder on Weather. In this update, we're going to walk you through the next 7 days as the atmosphere starts to look active again by Friday, especially into this weekend with more severe weather on the way. Good morning everyone, this is your April the 26th update. How's it going? I actually took the day off yesterday to celebrate my birthday. I turned the big 47. But also actually get my sign up back behind me. A huge shout out to the First Graphic Services sign company out there. They were able to install this POW Ponder on Weather neon sign back behind me. Plus, I'm actually put together a new format for you guys as well. So please bear with me, as this is actually the first time I'm doing this new format. So let's take a look at the overall radar setup for the next 60 hours. You can take a look at the actual time and date at the top left-hand corner of the screen. This is the latest update from the NAM 3K model on the radar depiction for the next 60 hours. So we'll kind of zoom in and take it region by region here. You can actually see we've got some rain showers moving in and just kind of sporadic light showers into Portland and Salem this morning, moving into Boise, all the way up into portions of Spokane here. But if we take you through kind of the movement here, we can kind of stop it around 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's still light showers going to be entering the picture of into Salem, into Portland, back into the Seattle area. That will move a little bit further in the interior regions. And some of this could be in the form of some of the light snow as well. But you can see as we kind of walk you through time, just sporadic light showers inundated portions of the Pacific Northwest. But we do have another system kind of moving in by the time we get into Thursday morning around 2 a.m. That's going to bring more showers for the region as we get through your day on a Thursday. And this will actually take you through about the 1 o'clock time frame. But as we move further down south, let's look at some of the southern branch too, because we had that big system that came through portions of Texas that dumped a lot of heavier rain, and actually much needed rain in portions of Sunday into Monday in North Texas. That's shifting southward today and bringing some light to moderate showers, some pretty big healthier rains as well this morning in and around the Brownsville area down here in South Texas. But you have that same system is going to be kind of hanging around all day long into the 3 o'clock time frame, with more moderate to light showers in the Corpus Christi area, in and around the San Antonio area, moving into portions of Victoria, Texas. And that just continues throughout the day. For the rest of the country, fairly clear in the midsection of the country, as that cold front will push offshore as we take you through, say, the 1 o'clock time frame going into your Thursday afternoon there. But now let's take a look at further north into the middle of the country as we take a look at the overall snapshot, as that cold front will continue to bring showers in and around this morning into portions of Atlanta, going into Jersey City, back into Charleston. That's moving through the Pittsburgh area. So that's that same cold front that continues to dive southeastward. And as we walk you through time, you can see that the little bit as we hit towards the peak heating of the afternoon, some of those storms could flare up to some stronger storm variety in and around the Augusta area, going through Columbia by then, all the way through Durham, back into Richmond here. So you can see back into DC, going to be hitting in and around the Baltimore area by the time we get into your 4 o'clock time frame, in and around portions of New York. And that just extends all the way into portions of Vermont and New Hampshire as well, with those sporadic showers moving through your Tuesday afternoon. And that will continue through the evening hours into the overnight on Wednesday. And as we wake up on Wednesday afternoon, that will continue through the afternoon time frame. And that stops at about 1 o'clock for into your 1 o'clock time frame. So now let's kind of shift off and take a look at some of the height anomalies, as we walk you through time. And again, here's the top left-hand corner of the screen with the time and date. This is kind of the upper levels. We always look at the atmosphere, say, from the top down out there. And let's take a look at the overall setup as we go through your Tuesday time frame. We'll take you through the whole week here. So we'll walk you through time here. We have that trough that's going to be diving in off that northwest flow to bring much colder conditions for them as well into the parts of the Ohio Valley and to the northeast, while the middle of the country does try to warm up. But you can actually see in the top left hand corner of the screen, we've got this trough that's going to be digging in by the time we get into your Thursday afternoon. That's going to bring more unsettled weather and more instability, and the dry line is going to start to get active out here into West Texas, into the Central Plains, and that could kick off some stronger storms as we get into your Wednesday, Thursday, but especially into your Friday time frame, where the dry line does get active, and we got this short wave coming across in the midsection of the country. That should set the stage for severe weather into portions of West Texas and through central Oklahoma and through Kansas area by the time we get into Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And it has multiple rounds of severe weather as well, as that trough just kind of hangs out in the midsection of the country. So we could be looking at more storms kind of into the peak heating of the afternoon on your Saturday, especially as we go into your Sunday with another short wave coming across. And then as we walk you through time, as we start May timeframe, we start to warm up again, right? So the atmosphere kind of resets itself and reloads, but we have yet another trough that's going to be digging in off the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be more unsettled weather for the midsection of the country. So it should start to get active, especially as we go into May. And this May is typically one of your more active time frames for severe weather out there. So let's take a look at the overall vorticity setup and some of the instability in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So as that trough will be digging in off the Pacific, off into the northwest there, into the Ohio Valley, that's going to bring that more unsettled weather for them as we go through your Tuesday and Thursday. And you can follow along with the time and date at the top left-hand corner of the screen. And then by the time we get into your Thursday afternoon, Thursday night time frame, there's a dry line that's going to be setting up off here in West Texas with these little short waves that come across. With daytime heating, that's going to kick off some severe weather as we get into your peak heating of the day, and they should die out as we get towards, into the late evening time frame. But I think it gets more active as we get into your Friday with this short wave coming across, and right here in the warm sector, I think that's where the dry line is really going to start getting active, and we could be looking at more severe weather in the midsection of the country for your Friday time frame. But that just kind of reloads as we go into your Saturday with another piece of energy setting up in the midsection of the country. And then yet we have another piece of energy setting up for Sunday. So I do feel more severe weather is going to be on the table for Sunday, for Friday, Saturday, and your Sunday time frame, as we have these little short waves are going to be coming across the midsection of the country, going through the end of April and starting your May time frame. But now let's take a look at some of the dew points out there. So this gives you an idea of some of the, I guess, the moisture in the atmosphere, right? And so these temperature anomalies with the dew points, you can see that where you see all the red shaded areas and kind of the purples, that's really dry air, right? That's typically your drier air. Once you get into your orange sector, as we get into your Wednesday time frame, you can see right here, out here into New Mexico, right in along the boundary into West Texas, as we get into your kind of the afternoon time frame, I think there's going to be some storms going to be firing up into the panhandle of Texas, right along western Oklahoma, into western parts of Kansas here, and that should subside as we get into your evening time frame. But then the dry line just gets active again and pushes a little bit further off to the west, and it's more indicative now with that active dry line. As we get into your afternoon time frame, we should have some storms starting to fire up along that dry line, and it just gets even more intense as we get into your Friday afternoon, Friday evening time frame, as this dry line will start to approach it further off into the east and into portions further off into West Texas, into central Oklahoma, into central Kansas here, with that dry line getting active. But I think it pretty much stays active with these pulses of energy that are going to be coming across. And because that warm sector pretty much remains set for our southern states, so we're going to start having more severe weather on the table as we end April and going into your first week of May. Now let's take a look at some of your instability in the atmosphere, right? So this is your Cape values. This kind of gives you an idea what the dry line getting active as you have that lift. You got to have some sort of lift to create some sort of showers and thunderstorms. And I feel as we get through your Wednesday afternoon there it is. You have your Cape values starting to get a little bit more unsettled. I'm not looking at much for Wednesday afternoon, but some of these storms could be on the stronger side, and you can't roll out one or two isolated severe storms in and around this sector where they do have a little bit higher instability, but that just kind of builds over time. So as we go through your Thursday afternoon time frame, it gets even more intense. You start having your joules per kilogram into the the 1,000, the 15, approaching sometimes into the 2,000 range. That's almost double than what you typically need for severe weather out there. And I think along the dry line here, out here in West Texas, it is going to start getting active and start having a storm starting to erupt by the time we get into your 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock time frame on Thursday. But I think it even gets more intense as we go into your Friday time frame with a little bit higher Cape values in and around the portions of northern Texas, especially as you go into Oklahoma and to Kansas area as well. And I think this just continues. I mean, again, this whole sector, I think it just remains active going into your Saturday with a little bit higher instability. There's another short wave that's going to be coming across on Sunday. We could have more instability tapping into that atmosphere as well. So it's going to remain active in this sector really starting Wednesday. And we could be having daily storm chances as we end April and going through the first week of May. Now let's take a look at some of the flash index. This just kind of gives you an indication on where some of the instability and some of the stronger storms could be. So I'm not looking for too many storms for the rest of the day. That's not going to get on the severe side. But once we get into your Wednesday afternoon, there's the dry line that kind of gives you an indication on some of the storms that could start to bubble up out here in West Texas, the panhandle of Texas, going into the western parts of Oklahoma and Kansas here. As the atmosphere, as the sun sets and you lose some of that daytime heating, it starts to subside a little bit. You could have a little bit of more flare up into the overnight hours into portions of Kansas and northern Missouri as we go through the overnight hours on your Thursday. But again, I think it just reloads as we go into your afternoon on Thursday with that dry line getting active again. With more severe weather, it's going to be popping up. Some of those stronger storms could be on the severe side a little bit further west than what you've seen on Wednesday. And then again, they kind of die down into the evening time frame. But as we get into your Friday, they start to bubble up again and to the midsection of the country, right around that 4 o'clock time frame, right? So right there into portions again, like say the Wichita Falls area into the Oklahoma City area, going into Kansas. Could tap into portions of Nebraska as well as South Dakota. But again, on Friday and then your Saturday time frame, that cold front shifts a little bit further off into the south, could bring in more unsettled weather. So what you can definitely see going into your May time frame into the afternoon, again on your Sunday, we could be having more storms starting to pop up in the heat of the afternoon. So we're going into the most active time frame of the year, and it definitely looks to be active on the table. So let's take a look at some of the temperature anomalies, because a lot of you guys out there are going to be pretty chilly, especially for the next couple of days, and walk you through time here as we go through the rest of the day. All these temperatures in green and your blues, that is 5, 10, upwards to 15 degrees below average temperatures for portions of Wisconsin into the Ohio Valley, getting into Michigan. And some of these areas, even 20, almost 25 degrees below average going into your Wednesday timeframe. So that's much colder conditions on the table. And it's not out of the question some of these areas by your Thursday morning could actually experience some record low temperatures out here in the portions, or at least near record low temperatures. Some of these areas could be in the 20s in portions of Wisconsin and to Michigan here, but well below average into the Ohio Valley, with another freeze unfortunately going to be on the table all this section in the midsection of the country, that's where all the unsettled weather and the instability is going to be, with those much warmer temperatures, with that dry line remaining active. That's where you're going to have the severe weather, but also a well above average temperatures as well. But overall, you can see where all the greens and kind of the blues are with your below average temperatures as we walk you through time and go through your first couple days of May. So let's take a look at the overall surface map for the next 10 days and kind of walk you through there. So as we see, we have that pretty strong northwest flow, and it's going to be cold enough. We could be ringing out some, especially like lake effect snow showers into portions of Wisconsin, going into Michigan into the evening hours on today. But that just kind of continues into the time frame into Wednesday. Going into Thursday, I do feel it's going to be a little bit more active in the midsection of the country, with those sporadic storms going to be popping up in the heat of the afternoon. With that northwest flow and all this ridging here, these warmer orange shaded areas, that's the indicative a little bit more warmer conditions, especially with those dew points surging northward as we end your April timeframe and go into the first part of May, as we have that surface low going to be developing in the midsection of the country, and we've seen that before. So we could be looking at more snow starting to break out into portions of Montana as well as North Dakota here, going to start May, right? To start May, just like you ended April, we're going to be looking at more snow could be on the table for that region, as further south it just kind of remains active. And then by the time we get into your Monday, May timeframe, to start May, we have more unsettled weather, with another trough that's going to be digging in off the Pacific Northwest, bringing scattered snow showers out here, and then rain into parts of northern California as well. And that just goes in through the first couple of days of May. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, catch the latest update where I protect you before and after the storm.